Hi, my name is Mariama Jabarte, and this is my informative speech. This is my audience. First comes love, then comes marriage, then comes sitting in a baby carriage. Or does it? I will be informing my audience on how the dating scene today has impacted the film industry and how different it is in comparison to the romance media they used to produce than it is now. How our generation shows up in the dating scene and presents ourselves in the dating realm directly mirrors the type of media that is being produced. I myself am a bit of a cinephile, and my favorite genres would be the romance genre, chick flick genre, and fantasy and drama. And these are heavily impacted with romance and love interest. So when it comes to being able to see the difference between romance in the past film and media and the film and media now, I am truly able to see it. Today, I'll be going over what romance used to look like in the past and how that showed up in the media, what romance and dating looks like for my generation in today's society now, and also how that directly affects the film industry and what is being produced as a result. Now, let's get into what romance used to look like in the past. In the past, romance used to be a bit more personal and sociable when it came to the interactions. There were a bit more meet cutes, there were a bit more romantic gestures, and we were able to see the couple or love interest fall in love romantically, and they were heavily influenced by traditional romantic themes. Veronica Hefner and Barbara J. Wilson, 2013, stated the study is a content analysis of the themes featured in romantic comedies from the past 10 years. And particularly, we coded for the existence of any expressions related to the four parts of the romantic ideal, i.e., love conquers all, idealization of power, soulmate, one and only, and love at first sight. This shows how important these romantic themes were to the genre at this time. We are also able to see in the movie, for example, Love Jones, we are able to see two love interests, Darius and Nina, fall in love where they meet in person in a jazz club. And we're also able to see Darius later get Nina's address from a receipt in a record store, as seen here. And he is able to go and officially, formally introduce himself to her. And that starts their romance. And we're able to see their romance grow throughout the screen, and we're able to see them connect and bond over their love for the art, specifically poetry and photography. And this is especially important because in the 90s they used to interact in person, and they were able to have more interpersonal connections when it came to that, and they were able to bond over the arts and the culture at that time. Now that we know what romance used to look like in the past, let's get into what dating looks like now. In our generation, dating is more heavily influenced by social media, and it is digital, almost all digital through the romance that we have. We are also impacted by outside sources and overcomplication of labels when it comes to our society. Jay Lincoln stated, 2019, although online dating site use is somewhat high, more youth turn to social media for online dating websites and or apps. It is almost as if dating is now it's almost as if social media is used as a dating app now, and we're able to communicate with one another through that. And that makes for less interpersonal connections and a bit more confusion. Especially in recent times, we've had terms like talking stage, situationships, or ghosting, which kind of overcomplicates what dating is and the definition of actual dating. And we also have a lack of gestures and people putting themselves out there, and it means to not be embarrassed. Now that we know what dating used to look like, now that we know what dating looks like for us, let's see how that impacts the film that is being produced. Now, in recent times, we have films that lack the typical genre romantic stereotypical romantic elements that make for a story. It is less interpersonal now, and it is more diluted by social media in the age of digital use, and we're also able to see less interpersonal connections, and there's a lack of growing the story and being able to connect to these characters and their love. For example, in the show Forever 2025, we are able to see our two main characters, Justin and Keisha, reconnect at a high school party after they had a long time of being out of touch. They were childhood friends, and we see them connect with each other through social media and through their phones. As you can see, they're on FaceTime here, and most of their relationship is portrayed through texting, FaceTime, and social media, which causes a lot of confusion, and a lot of their relationship problems do come from miscommunications through their phones. It is until we see them connect in person that we're able to truly understand their love story and see why they fall in love with each other, and we're able to connect with these characters. It is not always like this in a lot of the film and media. With characters like the girl boss or the playboy, we don't really get to fully flesh out each character as well as flesh out their relationship. So it makes it hard for us to connect to these characters with the lack of romantic genre and specifically romantic gestures. We're able to see romantic gestures like this in the past, where Dwayne and Whitley from A Different World, he is professing his love for her. We're able to see Noah build a house for Allie from The Notebook that she's always dreamed of, and we're able to see Will and Louisa. We're able to see him buy her socks that were her favorite as a romantic gesture. Now let's review and tie this all together. Romance affects how we look at the world, and since our romance looks a bit different now, film is being produced differently because of that. I chose this topic to explain to my audience how romance looks different now, and how we date now affects the film industry directly. And although romance looks a bit different now, the romantic genre is still very heavily impacted with so much media and so many beautiful romances, and we're able to still escape into that world and have meaningful, heartfelt stories. Thank you.